Dobrodošli u New York. Pozdravljam vas iz grada u kojem je prije 57 godina rođen Richard Holbrooke, kreator Dejtonskog sporazuma. U kraju u kojem se sada nalazim mnogo je poznatiji kao biznismen upravo u ovoj zgradi između Madisona i Park Avenije. Karijeru počinje 62. nakon što je završio ugledni Brown univerzitet. Priča o Holbrookovom uspjehu, međutim, počela je 70-ih kada je bio pomoćnik državnog sekretara za Istočnu Aziju, učestvovao u mirovnim pregovorima za okončanje rata u Vijetnamu. U međuvremenu pisao je članke o vanjskoj politici, a privatnim biznisom počeo se baviti 81. 1993. ponovo se vraća u politiku za koju mnogi kažu da je Holbrookova obsesija. Govorkalo se u to vrijeme da će otići za ambasadora u Japan, poslan je međutim u Njemačku. Godinu dana kasnije predvodio je pregovarački tim u Daytonu. Kontroverzan, to je jedina riječ koja ga pouzdano opisuje. Nije malo onih koji ga ne podnose. Kažu da je prvorazredni egocentrik i samoljubivac, neosjetljiv na male ljudske slabosti, uvijek u žurbi. Uprkos tome ili upravo stoga izaziva još više divljenja. Uoči dejtonskih pregovora oženio se 3. put. Otac je 2 sinova i poočim 2 djece, Cat i Morton. Evo ga večeras sa nama. Mr. Ambassador, thank you for being with us. We appreciate your time. Right now we are in Manhattan. What do you do here, sir?
I'm a banker at Credit Suisse First Boston here in New York. These are our offices.
Before us is your book To End the War, the inside story of America's role in Bosnia. Remarkable, excellent, impressive, well-written, critics say. But your personality, rather than book itself, seems to have grabbed most reviewers' attention. You're brilliant, they say. Are you afraid of having that nice, but at the same time dangerous advantage, being brilliant?
Well, I don't know. I didn't say I was brilliant. Other people did. And some people said I'm not so brilliant. So I'm not worried about this issue. I just try to do whatever I'm assigned to do. In the case of Bosnia, the situation required a certain style, which had to be suited to the situation, and a certain method which had to fit the specific moment. So this press reputation was created. But as you can see, I'm a very gentle, mild-mannered person.
Does it bother you that, for instance, Richard Cohen in the New York Times Sunday magazine wrote that in Dayton you were ready to be the biggest snake of all?
Oh, so I don't care. You go into public life, people criticize you. That goes with the territory.
2 years ago, at this time, there was no end in sight to the war in Bosnia. In your book, in no uncertain terms, you showed that the administration did not know what to do. What would you do now? What would benefit in hindsight, playing some kind of general after the battle? What would you do knowing what you know now and not then?
Well, I think it's clear, and I always believe this, that we should have gotten into the situation much earlier in Bosnia, and there would have been less loss of life, a better outcome. Dayton Agreement ended the war, but if we had had the bombing and a Dayton-style negotiation 2 years earlier, we would have had a much better outcome.
It is obvious from your book that President Clinton did not show enough interest initially, and administration was rather confused. What would be your assessment on Clinton's performance during that time?
I think that President Clinton confronted a very difficult situation because as a candidate he'd said he would take a stronger stand, but as president he found that the Europeans did not want action, his own military, led by General Powell, didn't want action, and the Congress didn't want action.
Some journalists, for example, your friend Charlie Rose, gave a hint that you are not critical of President Clinton because you are a Secretary of State in waiting.
No, I'm not critical of President Clinton because he appointed me, because he's the elected President of the United States, and I'm an appointed official, or I was then, and I owe him my loyalty and support, and I think he's a very great president, and I don't attack President Clinton. He supported me. If it weren't for him, this book wouldn't have been written. If it weren't for President Clinton, the war would still be going on in Bosnia.
I believe, sir, you know that Bosnians appreciate what you did over there and what you're doing still in Bosnia, meaning U.S. administration. And but you said we should have been more ambitious in Dayton. And you mentioned as a mistake leaving two armies, legalization Republika Srpska, and weak IPTF.
That's right.
Would you be more specific?
Well, on the first issue, the armies, there was nothing we could do about it because NATO was not willing to undertake the responsibility for disarming the armies. On the second issue, the Republika Srpska, we just shouldn't have agreed to the name, and I regret having put so much pressure on the Bosnian government to accept that name. But in the end, I don't think it makes that much difference because Mrs. Plavsic and Dodik are trying to fulfill Dayton. So I don't think it's all that critical, but I wish we hadn't pushed President Izetbegovic so hard on that. President Izetbegovic deserves great credit for having taken the steps that brought peace to his country. On the third point, the IPTF, the International Police Task Force, that was entirely our fault. It had nothing to do with the Bosnians or the Serbs. This was simply a failure within the European and American alliance the Europeans refused to allow the International Police Task Force to have the authority to arrest people. They just wouldn't agree, and this was a mistake.
I'll ask you about Izetbegovic, Tudjman, and Milosevic later on, but talking about immediate threats to Bosnia's future, you commented to the National Public Radio that Herceg-Bosna is the biggest one. It is not Serbs anymore, you said.
Yes.
Why would you say so?
Because there is more separatist sentiment left in the Croatian portion of Bosnia than there is in Republika Srpska, because of geographic reasons and economic reasons and historic reasons.
How would you support federation? Do you have any...
I think it's absolutely imperative that the government in Zagreb support the federation and Bosnia as a country, and that the money, the telephone system, the automobile license plates, and the political future of the Croats in Bosnia be part of Bosnia and not part of Croatia. Otherwise, if Croatian part of Bosnia separates, then the rest of Bosnia will fall apart.
In that context, I would like to ask you about what kind of impression Tudjman left on you. And Dayton aside, how would you characterize his long-term intentions in the region?